Tonight's headlines are brought to you by McDonald's.
Tonight on Channel 2 News. 2 men who killed an MHS security guard have their fates decided by the parole board. Will the governor pardon a man convicted of severely beating a Chinese masseuse? Also tonight, President Biden hands out a 10-year invitation to a federal judge to continue serving. And PSS has a new interim commissioner who will assume the reins, at least for now. Stay with us. These stories and more are next.
What's the move? Kinda wild out. Catch a groove. She said, where you going? What's the move? Kinda wild out. Catch a groove. What's the move?
Labor Day, a time to celebrate and pay tribute to the contributions of each and every working individual in the CNMI and nationwide. Stay safe this Labor Day weekend. Don't drink and drive, and always designate a sober driver. Drink responsibly so we can celebrate you once more at next year's Labor Day picnic. Happy Labor Day, CNMI. We appreciate your service. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the CNMI Department of Public Safety.
Hello, welcome to McDonald's. May I take your order, please?
ご注文はお決まりですか?
The McNuggets of chicken.
I haven't had a Big Mac in a long time.
How many filet of fishes did you eat?
That's over several months, Ryan.
Quiero McFlurry.
In Puerto Rico, a McFlurry it's called a Señor Flurry.
2 golden menus.
A wonderful crew at McDonald's.
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 They're McDonald's. I'm McDowell's.
Are you gonna order something?
Parole was revoked for Edward Bloss, one of 3 men convicted of murdering an MHS security guard back in 2008 with a piece of rebar. The men were attempting to steal laptop computers. Bloss was granted parole last summer and then was arrested and charged with assaulting his girlfriend in November. He's now back in custody after the parole violation. Parole was denied for Randy Igasomar, who participated in that same murder. Both the men were juveniles at the time but were tried as adults. The parole board has recommended a pardon for a man convicted 5 years ago of severely beating a Chinese masseuse at the Micro Beach Hotel. That recommendation will now go to Governor Arnold Palacios in the coming days, who will ultimately make the final decision. KSPN followed that trial and the sentencing of Joden Taitingfong. Here's a look back.
She was very brave in coming forward and seeing this all the way through.
Lead prosecutor in the case against 24-year-old Joden Taitingfong, Terry Tenorio, says the victim in this case really helped bring Taitingfong to justice.
I do believe that this is a good sentence, or a just sentence.
Taitingfong for robbery and aggravated assault and battery of a Chinese masseuse at the Micro Beach Hotel was sentenced by Judge Teresa Kim Tenorio to 10 years in jail with a 5-year probation for a total of 15 years. But the victim in this case says Taitingfong should have received the maximum penalty, 20 years, and that this sentence gives the message that you can get away with beating up a Chinese person.
你说如果是10年，他想打死一个人，不是那所有的土人都可以打中国人，打完了就10年呗。
So, for my understanding that if people beat up somebody, or maybe beat up somebody to die, and only 10 years, period. So all the local people can beat up the Chinese to die for 10 years only.
The victim faced an uphill battle getting to this point. When the assault happened in June of 2016, she was knocked out cold for 30 minutes. She told the jury during the trial in August when she woke up, she looked like the devil because as she looked in the mirror, blood was covering her face with bumps and bruises. She had one tooth completely knocked out with more teeth severely broken and shattered. During the August trial, the long-term effects of her assault were apparent. She couldn't even point out her attacker in the courtroom. Medical personnel also testified to her diminished mental capacity due to the brutal attack. Glad Tai Ting-Fong is spending time in jail, she is still disappointed.
给我一个就是说道歉啦或者什么他赔偿了什么都没有给我
Actually, I just feel sad for that, and basically, I do not receive any compensation and apologize, something like that.
Tenorio understands the frustration of the victim.
It could be that all victims feel that way, especially when there's such violent crimes that are inflicted upon them.
But AAG Tenorio stands by Judge Tenorio's sentence. And because Jodin Tai Ting-Fong was drunk and high on meth or ice at the time of the attack, Tenorio hopes Jodin will get the help he needs and come out of the criminal justice system a better person.
But again, the message is with our criminal justice system, the hope of rehabilitation while gaining some type of retribution and accountability. I don't necessarily, I do believe that this is a just sentence in this particular case.
President Biden has announced his intent to nominate Judge Ramona Manglonia to an additional 10-year term for the NMI. This will be Biden's 37th round of nominees for federal judicial positions. Manglonia has served as Chief Judge of the U.S. District Court for the Northern Mariana Islands since 2011, when she was nominated by then-President Barack Obama. Most federal judge positions are lifetime appointments, but in the NMI and Guam, each appointment is good for 10 years. Manglonia's term expired in 2021, and she has continued in that position. She's also served as an associate judge of the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands Superior Court, and she was previously Deputy Attorney General, that was in 2002, and then Attorney General of the CNMI from 2002 to 2003. From 1998 to 2002, she was an Assistant Attorney General and served as a prosecutor and then a civil litigator. She received her JD from the University of New Mexico School of Law in 1996 and her BA from the University of California, Berkeley in 1990.
Following the resignation of Dr. Alfred Atta, current director of the Special Education Program at CNMI Public Schools, Donna Flores, has been named Interim Education Commissioner.
I am the director for special ed, but I am assuming the interim commissioner of education role until the seat is filled, which is hopefully sooner than later.
Flores brings with her 25 years in public service, 14 years of which has been with the PSS Special Education Program.
You know, when I received the call after the emergency board meeting from Chairman Borja, I had to think about it a bit. You know, it's about a quadruple of my workload now. Although special ed may look like a small program, it really isn't. We have a little over, or a little under 200 staff and a little over 1,000 kids from our, you know, in our school district that are in our program. So it's a lot of busy work, and we have a lot of initiatives here in place already. So yeah, I mean, you know, I'm here to, you know, take the responsibility so the public school system can move forward with projects that are already ongoing.
Flores shared that she does not see herself being in this position long term and is committed to her work in special education.
I'm here at special ed. Like I said, I've really put in a lot of hard work and heart work here. So I have initiatives, new initiatives in place, and I really want to follow them through and see them succeed.
After serving PSS for over 30 years and nearly 4 years as commissioner, Atta resigned, citing health reasons.
I just wanted to thank Dr. Alfred Adda for his commitment to the CNMI public school system over the years. His heart truly is for the students. Although he's weathered, a few storms during his time as Commissioner of Education, I think we should also, commend him because he was instrumental, in a lot of efforts made in making, the public school system shine. And I just, wish him, the best of health and peace of mind, on his road to recovery.
For KSPN2 News, this is Trey Youngdahl reporting. I'm standing here at Saipan International Airport where the CPA Board will be discussing their 2024 fiscal year budget. Landing at Saipan International Airport could soon cost airlines 90% more as CPA adopted some extreme measures this week at an emergency board meeting. CPA says they will suspend the airline incentive program, increase the landing fees, and implement a 79% increase in terminal rental rates.
The airline incentive program is a 2-year program actually that gives a significant discount in terms of landing fees and whatever other fees as it relates to the airline's activity with the ports. And so this program gives a 75% discount the first year, and then the second year is a 50% discount, right? And then the years after that, then they have to pay the full price. And the only person or the only airline that is availing itself of that program right now is United, specifically the Narita route, because they're the only new routes that have gone online in the past couple of years. The problem with suspending the airline incentive program is now, right, that is kind of a way to incentivize airlines to come here, but now you're suspending it. And then you're increasing rates, right? So I want to clarify, right, that when I say the CPA was in a world of hurt, it's not just CPA, it's not CPA, because CPA is passing on these charges to the airlines, right? So if you're looking basically at the proposed, what's going to be now the airline, the rates and charges, we're currently, for example, at $19.49. What we've just adopted today is $34.92. That's going to be the charge for the terminal rental rate per square foot, right? So the rent is going to go up, and anybody that's renting here, the airlines, that's a 79% increase. Landing fee, for example, is going up from $8 to $15. That's a 90%. So whenever an airline lands here, it's an increase.
Parking is going up too, rising from a $2 per hour fee to a $5 per hour fee. These changes are coming after a steep decline in tourism in the CNMI.
If you're out there and actually talking to the tour operators, you're talking to the airline carriers, you're talking to folks who are in the travel industry, the tourism industry, they're saying, listen, if we don't have other markets going online, right? And if you only have the Korea and Japan market, even if you spend all this money to promote those markets, we're not going to see the arrivals return to pre-pandemic because, there are other destinations that we're competing with, destinations where you can get more value for your dollar. Like, for example, you can fly to Cambodia and it's cheaper. You can stay at a 5-star hotel for the same amount that you pay for, a regular hotel here. Going there is going to cost you significantly less, right? And if you're looking at the Japan market, one of the things that people are talking about is that the direct flight from Japan to Honolulu is cheaper or around the same than it is to fly to the CNMI on United. And so, these are competing factors that people need to take into consideration. And, people hear me talk about the China market. It's not because I want the China market to come. I don't really care where the tourists come from. I have a job, and my job is to keep the airport open, and I need money. And the only way we can get money is by basically getting more airlines to come here.
The budget also reduces personnel expenses by including an 8-hour cut per pay period.
I'm just really concerned about morale And I know, you know what I mean, that's a real problem here. When you compare salaries, you know what I mean, of the regular employees here, compare them to other ports, it's low.
In the future, what kind of changes are you planning on making towards possibly bringing up the morale of the employees here?
The only thing that the employees care about, man, is money in their pocket. You know what I mean? And a lot of them deserve far more than what they're getting. The only way we can do that really is if we, generate more revenues. And even if we did generate more revenue, right, you got to take care of the bills first, and then whatever excess, you know what I mean, you look towards increasing those salaries and benefits. But one of the ways that we've tried to kind of, just get the folks to kind of, you know what I mean, to increase and boost morale was adopting the self-care leave. So we adopted self-care leave where, once a quarter you get a full day off, no questions asked, right? You need a mental health day. I don't need to know where you're going. You just take it, right? And it doesn't count against your sick leave or your annual leave, right? And so different things like that we try to do. But, even though that doesn't cost money, it still costs money. So, it's a cost-benefit analysis with every action that you take.
These changes are scheduled to go into effect on October 1st of this year. For KSPN2 News, this is Trey Youngdo reporting.
Save big on mobile and home internet with Link. Get a mobile plan with 40 gigabytes of LTE data and 30 Mbps down on home internet for as low as $95 a month. Better yet, bundle your services with any iPhone 14 series and receive a $50 credit, a SuperPod AX, and basic installation completely free. We'll also cover your first 2 months of home internet service for savings of over $500. Offer valid for a limited time, so Link, bundle, and save today. Imperial Pacific, better together.
Tee it up for tourism Labor Day weekend. No ifs, ands, or puts. Check out the Marianas Tourism Golf Classic on Saturday, September the 2nd, West Course. Lau Lau Bay Golf and Resort medal play format with 7 flights, cash, and amazing prizes. And best of all, proceeds benefit the Marianas Tourism Education Council and School My Wave clubs. Registration forms available at Lau Lau Bay MBA or on the Marianas calendar online. You can pay $120 or you can pay $140. So I know what you're thinking. I got some game. How do I get that $120 price? Well, you sign up before August 25th and then you can use that extra $20 for some side action. May the course be with you.
One of the best addresses in Saipan has office space available now, right in the heart of things. The Marianas Business Plaza offers reasonable rates and can help build to suit your needs. You'll love the central location, just 15 minutes from the airport and 10 minutes from Garapan. Ample and covered parking keeps your vehicle close and protected. 2 restaurants for easy access, lunch, dinner and business meetings. Building security and 24-hour access to your office. Backup generators, so you can run your business in all weather. And 3 elevators mean easy and convenient access. It's the address in Saipan, the Marianas Business Plaza.
Get your goods here with care and attention with Micronesia Air Cargo Services. MAX is all about connections. Daily flights to and from Guam, 4 times a week to Rota, and bi-weekly flights to Tinian. We are connecting the Marianas. Perishable goods, Home Depot furniture and appliances, even live animals, operating since 2013. Check out our Thursday special to Rota from Guam and Saipan. Call Max at 670-288-6227. If it fits, we'll take it. In April of 2021, the Casino Commission suspended IPI's license after it failed to make required payments. The Supreme Court has now affirmed that suspension of their exclusive gaming license, but the court also says that because of the pandemic, IPI is entitled to more time to make missed annual license fee payments. They have ordered the Commonwealth Casino Commission to hold further proceedings to determine new deadlines for some of IPI's missed payments. The court notes that IPI failed to maintain required cash levels in a CNMI or U.S. bank, failed to pay the regulatory fee, and that these violations carry a total penalty of $5 million in fines. What does the NMI do now with the Imperial Pacific project located in western Garapan? The unfinished hotel construction is subject to the elements. Inside, much of the contents are being auctioned off, but what happens to the structure itself? Governor Palacios said recently that they do have some parties from the region showing some interest, but can the structure be salvaged? Dave Bush is the former GM of Hawaiian Rock, which supplied much of the material for the building.
Seems to me it was around 110 to 120,000 cubic yards of concrete.
Is that equivalent to like a road, or is that like the biggest project Hawaiian Rock has done in Saipan?
Oh, that's by far the biggest.
How many yards go into a truck?
Depending on, we had trucks that would carry between 8 and 10 cubic yards.
More than 12,000 truckloads. Bush says Hawaiian Rock doubled the amounts of mixers here while they were supplying material for the project. Bush watched as a variety of companies and managers worked on the job site. A number left after disputes over payment. Workers were brought in from Guam, Mongolia, China, Turkey, and Italy. There was a couple of different managers and there was a couple of different construction companies. In your sort of professional opinion, what do you think of that project?
Well, personally, I had never seen things like that. By the time we started that, I had been in construction for roughly 40 years, and I saw things that I had never seen being done.
What jumped out at you of things that you had never seen done before?
I'd never seen concrete poured in 8, 10, 12 inches of water in a foundation. I had never seen the amount of water sprayed on a floor before they finished it that they were doing there. There were a lot of things that don't fit with what I understand are American Concrete Institute standards.
Do you think that building is safe, that it can be rehabilitated, that can be built up on? What do you think?
Personally, I never spent much time in that building.
Is that because you were worried about the safety aspect of it?
No. Let's put it this way. I've seen the effects. I was raised in Northern California, went through a lot of earthquakes. Like I said, I never had been through one as bad as the one in Guam. And yeah, I wouldn't trust that building in an earthquake personally.
We'll have more on this story on Friday. Chris Nelson for the Channel 2 News.
The newly founded project, Right to Democracy, made a visit to Saipan to discuss issues regarding colonialism in the CNMI.
I'm going to be here 5 days to interact through community dialogues, through meetings and panels with the people of Northern Mariana Islands to listen and understand the challenges that are faced in the community and their views of what it will entail to solve them.
Neil Weir and Ada Martinez-Roman co-founded the group and are aiming to bring national attention to issues in the territories.
Over the last year, there were a lot of opportunities where the federal government had a chance to address some of these longstanding issues, whether that was President Biden or in Congress or the U.S. Supreme Court. And one of the frustrations was, despite some of these political and legal opportunities, there ended up not being the actions that many had hoped for. And so that's when I really took a step back and took stock to see, well, how could we approach this work differently, and was very excited last December to start conversations with Eddie Martinez-Roman about how we could take some of the advocacy that we'd been doing, add to that, adding participatory elements, focusing on engaging the communities more, and having planning trips to listen and learn from people more in each of the territories. And that's where we decided to co-found Right to Democracy together, to focus on advancing democracy and self-determination in U.S. territories.
The organization launched in April and has since visited Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Guam before making their stop in Saipan.
You would be surprised the similarities of what is shared between the territories. A lot of concerns with challenges having to do with health, as a practical matter, health services, but also the prevalence of conditions. Also, we've heard a lot about concerns about being allowed to stay. I say it's a way to kind of like do it in a common way. For in Puerto Rico, the displacement of communities, over in the Pacific, more about the importance of land. Also in the Caribbean, the thing about not having to leave the islands to be able to have quality of life, and losing your roots.
Right to Democracy aims to confront colonialism by bringing the issue into the public eye.
We recognize that colonialism can be a very broad conception, and we are referring to the doctrinal legal framework that was developed beginning with the insular cases of the Supreme Court after the Spanish-American-Cuban War. And that doctrinal framework basically keeps sovereignty and the capacity to legislate over the territories in the hands of Congress. And it is a Congress and that we don't have any real political power or influence. So for us, that legal framework that authorizes that the power to legislate over the territories belongs supremely to Congress, it's the colonial framework that we are referring to.
And what I would say, to kind of expand on that a little bit, is our focus is on this idea that everyone should have a power and say in the decisions that impact their lives. And growing up in Guam and talking with a lot of people from the Northern Mariana Islands, all too often decisions are made that impact our communities that aren't being made by local elected representatives here. They're being made by Congress, they're being made by a president, they're made by federal courts, where people in the Northern Mariana Islands and other territories lack a say and representation. And so what exactly how that having a say in the decisions that impact your lives, what that looks like, whether that's a closer relationship with the United States, whether that's a separate relationship with the United States, that's for the people of each of the territories to decide. But one of the things that has really come out through these conversations with communities in Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands so far is this idea that people want to be able to have a say in the rules that they have to follow. If you have to follow a law, you should have a say in what that law looks like. And that's one of the core values and focuses of our work.
For more information, you can visit them online at righttodemocracy.us.
Are you fascinated by extreme habitats and unusual creatures? Think deeply about the Marianas Trench, and you'll fall deeply in love with this monument's plunging underwater landscape, which people call the Grand Canyon of the ocean. but it goes way deeper than that. Yes, our islands are home to the deepest waters on the planet. Here, underwater volcanoes bubble with mud, and yawning canyons host some of the world's strangest marine species. The Marianas Trench is about 1,500 miles long, over 40 miles wide, and 36,000 feet deep. The bottom is over 7 miles below the surface. That's about how high a commercial airline flies above the Earth. The pressure of the water is about 1,000 times greater down here than at sea level, and it's cold, just 1 or 2 degrees Celsius. And it's right in our backyard. What is it, though, and why is it there? It's part of a boundary between two tectonic plates, the Pacific Plate and the Philippine Plate. The Pacific Plate is older, cooler, and denser than the younger Philippine Plate, and has crustal material that is up to 170 million years old. The western edge of the Pacific Plate is subducted or thrust under the Philippine Plate. The movement of these two plates is the reason we have the Mariana Islands. Our volcanic islands are caused by flux melting of the upper mantle, due to the release of water that is trapped in minerals of the subducted portion of the Pacific Plate. In 2009, the Marianas Trench was established as a U.S. national monument. The presidential proclamation was made for the purpose of protecting objects of scientific interest, including things like submerged volcanoes, hydrothermal vents, and coral reef ecosystems. We currently know more about the surface of the moon than we do about the trench, but there are some exciting exploration expeditions that are essential to understanding and managing these deep water resources. In March of 2021, Nicole Yamase became the first Pacific Islander and the fourth woman to descend to the depths of Challenger Deep, the deepest part of the trench. The scientist grew up in Palau, Saipan Chuk, and Ponape, and is studying the effects of climate change. Yamase hopes her experience will inspire Pacific Islander women to pursue STEM and higher education. If I can do it, she said, they can do it too. So think deeply. Green sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They are an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the sea turtle stranding hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle. Location, location, location. Office space on Capitol Hill available now at the Hermosa Vista Business Park. With natural light and ocean views, it's the perfect place for creative professionals. So upgrade your life and your working environment. Schedule an exclusive showing now. Call us at 670-483-4750 or email hvsaipan@gmail.com.
Buenas sports fans.
Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
Taking a look at our weather tonight, mostly cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. West winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, lows around 79, and a 50% chance of showers. Saturday, mostly cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. South winds 15 to 20 miles per hour, highs around 87, and a 40% chance of showers. Saturday night and Sunday will be mostly cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, lows around 79, with highs near 85 and a 40% chance of showers. Sunday night will be mostly cloudy with isolated showers and thunderstorms, lows around 79 with a 20% chance of showers. High tide will be at 2.2 feet this afternoon at 9:18 p.m. Low tide will be at 0.8 feet at 3:29 p.m. on Saturday, and high tide will be at 2.2 feet at 9:48 p.m. on Saturday.